My name is Jeff Bliss, and I'm founder of a company called Innovative Finishes, and I have come up with a process called INNOVATE Glass. This process was designed to repair heavily damaged glass on tablets and smartphones that otherwise would not be able to be buffed out by typical methods. For example, to replace this Motorola 912 digitizer, it would cost $186. Now, to repair it would cost a tiny fraction of that cost. An untreated sample. Now let's move to a piece of glass that has been treated with our patent pending process. I'm hammering on this and it didn't break. As you can see, it can just be buffed out. Enhanced durability is another feature of this process. This could be very advantageous for an OEM.
Jeff, tell us a little bit about what it is that you've created most recently at Innovative Finishes.
I'd say it's a glass process. And the process is pretty much designed around, we've noticed a lot of problems in the industry where people were able to remove micro scratches in glass. So if they're very, very fine, they could be removed by buffing processes. But anything that you could catch your fingernail with, like a small little a scratch that was large enough where you could catch your fingernail, you really can't remove a lot of that glass material, or you're going to start upsetting the LCD. So therefore, we had to add, and that's what we did. And by adding a process on applying a resin technology to our glass, it actually covers the scratches to a point where you really can't see where the scratches are, and yet it enhances the durability of the glass as well. And it's much better than throwing that glass away and buying a new one.
And when you're talking about glass, are we talking about glass that would be on your cars or TV screen glass?
No, this is more for anything to do with the handheld electronic industry. Okay. So smartphones, tablets, things of that nature.
Okay. And is there any limit on size? I mean, let's say they started making giant tablets. Is there any, could you have a 40-inch screen tablet that was done with this glass?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Technology?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, size would make a difference.
Okay. And is this an expensive or a difficult process to do? I mean, is this something that could be done by an OEM? Or is this strictly in secondary repair or recycled market?
I think you can use it for both markets.
Okay.
Absolutely, for both markets.
If you were an OEM, how would you look to try to make use of this?
I'd say more for the durability aspect of it. And I would say, once you scratch a glass, it's scratched. There's not much you can really do about it. But with this product, if it is a fine scratch, you can actually remove the scratch.
But does it make it less likely to break, or is it equally?
Does. It makes it less likely to break.
So it does enhance substantially enhance the durability of that glass.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if an OEM were to make use of this and put this right in, Samsung or Apple or what have you were to put this into, or Nokia, into their phones, they would end up with a more durable process?
Or product, I should say.
Product, right. Okay. And is there any reason, is this a really expensive or time-consuming process, or?
No, there's science and art together with this process.
Okay.
But once it's applied to the glass, the cost is very minimal to do this. But yes, there is a process that has to be, produced.
Okay. Okay. But and you said you're adding something to the glass. Is that materially affect the thickness, or is this on a?
Well, you will add to the thickness of the glass, but however, it doesn't interfere with any type of touching your screens or anything like that. It doesn't.
But this is not me walking into my store and into the closest Verizon or AT&T store and saying, hey, can you fix this for me, or is it?
No, because we don't deal with that end of the market.
So you're not dealing with the end user. You're dealing on the wholesale level,
right.
and doing what, 10 or 20 units a day, or 10 or 20,000?
Hundreds to thousands. You can do thousands a week. There's one time we were doing on the plastics alone 20,000 pieces per week.
And is this a very labor-intensive process? I mean, does it take?
There is labor that's involved. However, with the right system in place, everything complements each other in such a way that it's not as what you would think.
So does it take a day of labor to fix a phone, 5 minutes of labor?
No, we have everything down where we time everything. So if we have to repair it, whether it be a plastic or a piece, everything is timed exactly what the cost is going to be, and then per minute, seconds, whatever you want. Everything is timed. The cost-saving benefit is probably the biggest one compared to buying new. It's just unbelievable, and you're keeping the OEM, so you're not throwing an aftermarket part on something that really doesn't belong on there. So there's so many benefits to this technology. And with the plastics, even with plastic, when you're refurbishing plastics, I mean, you can reuse these plastic 2, 3, 4 times with this process.
And Jeff, you've made the decision that now that you've got a patent pending on this glass technology, that you feel the best way to bring it into the marketplace is to put it in the hands of somebody that can make the highest and best use of it. Can you talk a little bit about the process that led you to come to that decision, and how long it's taken you to create this process?
Well, I guess our feeling is this. We could keep this all under one roof and grow this, but I think it's something where we would like to see this process be used by many different people. I think that it'd be really utilized, because I see a lot of need, and there's only so much we're going to want to do in one area. So it's better off to have this to be utilized in other areas.
Jeff, if the size of the screen is not an issue, could I apply your process to my 60-inch flat screen television?
If it's a glass substrate, yes, you can.
So anything glass, I could apply it
yes, you can.
to, and that I'm looking at it and viewing it.
Right, you can apply it to new glass, because applying it to new glass, if you buy a new phone or a tablet, the first thing you want to do, what do you see people, they buy something to protect their glass.
Protector, yeah.
Now, that's going to protect, certain things, maybe some scratches, you bump it, whatever. But eventually, it's not going to help it if you drop it. It's going to be more susceptible to damage or breakage. Where if this product is on it, it will not. It adds to the stability of the product.
So what you're basically telling me is that if iPhone or Apple, for example, had coated the iPad I bought my wife for Christmas with your process, then when my kids fought over it and broke it last week, 3 weeks later, I might still have an iPad that works.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, if this process was on that glass originally and it dropped, most likely it wouldn't have broken as easily. It's going to be that much more durable with this product on it.
Oh, they didn't drop it. They just fought over it and their thumbs went through it.
Oh, really? That's a lot of tension. Yeah, this actually holds, the integrity would be much stronger.
So
with minimal film build.
So, all right, Apple, you know what you got to do if you want me to buy another iPad.